What am I doing here?
You are here to free your mind.
What if everything you are experiencing right now is not real? Not in a poetic sense, not in a philosophical metaphor, but literally, what if your entire life, your memories, your thoughts, your identity, are part of something constructed, carefully rendered, continuously updated, perfectly convincing? Welcome to the possibility that reality is not what it seems. Let's start with something simple. Look around you. Your room, your phone, the light, the textures, the details. It all feels solid, stable, reliable. Now here's the problem. Physics disagrees. At the most fundamental level, what you call solid is mostly empty space. Atoms, the building blocks of everything you see, are over 99.9% empty. That chair you're sitting on? Empty. Your body, my body, even his body, also mostly empty. So why don't you fall through it? Because of electromagnetic interactions, fields that create resistance. In other words, you are not touching anything, ever. You are hovering above reality, held together by invisible forces, which is already a fantastic start for something we call real. Now let's go deeper. Even those atoms, they're not really things. They're probability distributions, clouds of potential. Particles don't exist in a fixed position until they are observed. Yes, observed. Welcome to quantum mechanics, the only scientific field where saying it depends on whether someone is looking is not considered madness. There is a famous idea in physics, the observer effect. At the quantum level, the act of observation changes the outcome, which raises a deeply uncomfortable question. What counts as an observer? Is it a human, a measuring device, consciousness itself, or something else? Let's pause here and acknowledge something. If reality depends on observation, then what exactly is doing the observing? Your eyes? No. Your brain? Closer, but still not quite. Because your brain doesn't actually see reality. It interprets signals. Light hits your eyes. Your brain processes electrical impulses and then constructs an internal model. You are not seeing the world. You are seeing a simulation created by your brain. A very convincing one. High resolution, low latency, excellent user interface. So at this point, we have a universe made of mostly empty space, particles that don't exist until observed, a brain that generates a model of reality, and no clear definition of what an observer even is. And somehow, we are expected to believe that this is straightforward. Now let's make things worse. There is a serious hypothesis in modern philosophy and physics called the simulation hypothesis. It suggests that reality may be an artificial construct, not metaphorically, technologically. The idea goes like this. If a civilization becomes advanced enough, it can simulate entire universes, not just graphics, not just physics engines. Full reality simulations with conscious beings inside them. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. If it's possible, then statistically it's more likely that we are inside a simulation than in the original base reality. Let that sink in. If one real world can create millions of simulated worlds, then the odds of being in the original are extremely low, which means you are probably not in it. Now, before you panic, or start trying to punch through a wall to escape, let's stay rational. There is no direct evidence yet, but there are strange hints. For example, the universe has limits, a maximum speed, the speed of light. Why? Why would reality have a speed limit? Unless it's a processing constraint. Space appears continuous, but at the smallest scales, it may be discrete, like pixels, like resolution. The laws of physics are consistent everywhere, which is great for science, but also suspiciously convenient for a well-designed system. And then there's consciousness. We still don't know what it is. We can map brain activity. We can correlate experiences. But we cannot explain why subjective experience exists at all. Why is there something it feels like to be you? Why aren't you just a biological machine running processes in silence? Because something is aware. And here's where things get interesting. Some theories suggest that consciousness is not produced by the brain, but accessed through it. Think of your brain as a receiver, like a radio. It doesn't create music, it tunes into a signal. If that's true, then consciousness may exist independently of your body, which leads to a slightly disturbing possibility. You are not inside your brain. Your brain is inside something else. Now let's connect this back to simulation theory. What if consciousness is not just part of the simulation, but the user? What if you are not the character, but the player? And this life is an interface, a very immersive one, with excellent graphics, some questionable writing choices, and a tendency to include unexpected plot twists. Now, before this turns into a full existential crisis, let's inject a little humor. If this is a simulation, whoever designed it clearly has a strange sense of balance. Black holes that destroy everything, mosquitoes that exist for no reason, and humans, self-aware enough to question reality, but not smart enough to stop arguing on the internet. Brilliant design. But here's the deeper question. Why simulate reality at all? Possibilities include scientific experimentation, entertainment, historical reconstruction, or something we cannot even conceptualize. Imagine a future civilization trying to understand its origins. It runs simulations of the past, billions of them. You could be in one of those right now. Which means your life might be data. Your thoughts, processed, your memories, stored, your existence, rendered in real time. Now here's where it gets even stranger. If reality is simulated, then the rules can be changed. Not easily, not obviously, but potentially. Glitches, coincidences, moments that feel off. Have you ever experienced something that made no sense? A strange coincidence. A moment that felt too perfect or too wrong. What if those are not just random events, but artifacts, small inconsistencies in the system, or updates, or patches? Now, let's be clear. There is no scientific consensus that we are in a simulation, but there is also no proof that we are not. And that's the problem. Because once an idea becomes possible, it cannot be ignored. So, where does that leave us? In a strange position. We are beings capable of understanding the laws of the universe, while simultaneously questioning whether those laws are real. We are observers, trying to understand observation. Consciousness, trying to understand itself. And perhaps that's the point. Maybe reality is not just a place, but a process. A system designed not just to exist, but to be experienced. And maybe the question is not, is this real? But what does it mean to experience it? Because whether this is base reality or simulation, your experience is real. The emotions, the thoughts, the awareness, they are happening right now. And perhaps that is enough. Or perhaps it is only the beginning. Because if this is a simulation, then there are other levels, other realities, other perspectives, and other truths waiting to be discovered. So the next time you look at the world, remember this: it may not be what it seems. But that doesn't make it less meaningful. In fact, it might make it more. Because a reality that can be questioned is a reality that can be explored. And a reality that can be explored is a reality full of possibilities. So stay curious, stay aware, and most importantly, stay open to the idea that the truth might be far stranger than anything we have imagined. Because this is only the beginning. And if you think this was strange, just wait. The next video will go even deeper. And trust me, it only gets weirder from here.